Hi folks, and welcome to today's video, lumbar disc bulge or herniation, my top 5 tips for beginners. Now, if you've just been diagnosed with a lumbar bulging disc or a lumbar herniated disc, keep watching this video. I'm going to give you my top 5 tips to get you back on the road to pain-free recovery. So without further ado, let's dive into today's video. So folks, welcome to today's video. This is for beginners. You've just been diagnosed with a lumbar bulging or a lumbar herniated disc. Don't know where to turn, you're in pain, maybe back pain, sciatica nerve pain. This is my top 5 tips to get you back on the road to recovery and becoming pain-free, okay? Now, it is an unnerving time when you get diagnosed with bulging disc, herniated disc, see it on the MRI, whatever. And, sometimes it can be a while before physiotherapy will be able to start for you. So what I've created this little video here is 5 great tips to get you back on that recovery process, okay? Why listen to me? Well, back in 2005, I herniated my L5S1, various other disc bulges, lots of sciatica nerve pain, couldn't walk for a while, recovered myself with my own methodology and some other people I learned from over the years. And then I reherniated back in 2024, another reherniation at L5S1, various disc bulges, L2, L3, L3, L4, etc. Brought myself back now to 99%. Okay, I've got one little percent left to go, a little bit of lingering sciatica nerve pain. But I have worked as a rehabilitation specialist for the last 20 odd years or so, helping many people throughout the world with their low back pain problems. So let's dive in. What should you be doing? Okay, number 1. Really important thing that I try to convey to all of my clients, people out there, when you're first diagnosed, you don't want to make it worse, right? So for the first 4 hours of the day, I want you to avoid flexion before noon. What is flexion? Spinal flexion is flexing forward like this, okay? This is extending the spine. This is flexing the spine. There's research back in the early 90s that discovered that avoiding flexion for the first 4 hours of the day, it did reduce people's back pain intensity, okay? And it reduced the amount of times, days they were in pain. So it's something free that you can do, okay? And what it involves is basically a lot of hip hinging. You can be very careful not flexing your spine, trying to avoid flexing. So you go to brush your teeth in the morning, okay? Don't flex over the sink. Put your hand there for support, hip hinge, okay? Nice neutral spine, okay? When you go to put your shoes on, put your socks on, don't be bending forward, okay? You may have to come into this position here, carefully put the socks on like this, carefully put your shoes on, use a small stool for your shoes, all right? But avoiding flexion for as much as you can the first 4 hours of the day will pay big dividends in your recovery. Now, number 2, very, very important, a lot of physios recommend this all the time, okay, is walking, right? Good old walking. Now, why is it recommended? Because the disc does not have any direct blood flow, walking itself will encourage blood flow throughout the body, and the disc itself, all that inflammatory material, that blood flow around the disc area can help remove anti-inflammatory materials and bring nutrients to your disc, okay? Doing nothing, like the old sort of recommendation was, like, oh, stay in bed for a week, completely out the window, okay? We want people moving as soon as they are able to with their pain, all right? There is an expression, motion is lotion, all right? Now, I know for a lot of people, it can be very painful trying to walk, okay? But even if it just means, your first steps are across the room and back and you have to take a rest, that's perfectly fine. I recommend if you've got a lot of sciatica pain that you take small steps, okay? Very gingerly, just small steps. Just get yourself used to it, all right? Obviously, if you've got access to a pool, that's fantastic. Get into the pool, do some pool walking, okay? Light swimming if you can manage it. But walking, everybody has access to it. It's free to do, all right? And it is a great benefit for folks out there with lumbar herniated, lumbar bulging discs. Now, number 3, we're going to get down on the ground. So let's get down. Now, number 3 is intermittent rest. Now, when we're moving, we're doing our physiotherapy, rehab exercises, we're walking, okay, motionless motion. It is good to take intermittent rest throughout your day, right? Helps the back muscles relax off a little bit, take some pressure off those discs, okay, relieve some sciatica nerve pain. So do not feel, I had this conversation with a client quite recently, do not feel you're being lazy, okay, by lying on the ground, taking a break, okay? Now, when you rest, you might think, oh, I sit in a chair. Okay, when you sit in the chair, typically your hips drop below your knees and your spine will round, okay? We want to keep the spine in a neutral position, so the best way to rest is on the floor, okay? Get on the floor. Maybe it's better for you lying face down, like a Mackenzie position. Here I've got a couple of pillows on a small stool. You want to lie down and elevate your legs, okay, like so. If I have my legs straight on the ground, there's a muscle here called your iliopsoas muscle, which is connected to your lumbar spine. When you lie like this, you tend to get extension and pulling on the lumbar spine. When we elevate the legs, even just a little like this here, it takes the stress off the low back, releases tension on that muscle, which of course puts the spine into a perfect position for relaxation, okay? So even if it's 2, 3, 4, 5 times during the day, don't be afraid to take a small break, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Maybe you're at work, okay, in your office. Lie down, put your feet up at the edge of the desk, maybe on your office chair, okay, if you're at home, up on the side of the couch. Your body needs that time, okay, to take little breaks during the day, help you get through the painful processes. Now, along the same lines, okay, as intermittent resting is decompression work. Now, decompressing the spine, you have passive and active methods. I generally prefer I would call it the own body's active way of stretching. It's called L2A method. And I will link at the end of this video to a specific video which is dedicated to the different at-home types of decompression that you can do, okay? But basic decompression is actually resting with your legs elevated up on a surface here like so, okay? And this will help the spine decompress a little bit. Even putting your legs up on a wall like so, if the sciatica pain will allow, will help take stress off and decompress that spine. Obviously, if you get decompression, where the vertebrae move apart from each other, that'll give the chance the disc to take pressure off the disc and hopefully pressure off of the nerve if you're suffering from sciatica nerve pain. So, very, very important. Decompression work. I use it a lot with all my clients. I use it myself still to this day. And there's a video that's going to pop up at the end of this one, which is more dedicated to just decompression work, okay? That's number 4. Now, number 5, super important, is sleep, okay? Now, when you sleep, that's when the body repairs, okay? Different hormones are released when you sleep, and in that time, 6, 7, 8 hours, is when the body starts to regenerate, repair. If you can't get good quality sleep, then your progress will be staggered. It will not be as nice and linear and progressive as you would want. You're going to be going down. You're not going to be recovering. So I've got a couple of pillows here. I do have a separate video on the sleep positions that'll also pop up at the end of this one. But sleep is very, very important. So you've got to make sure you get yourself into the right position. And this might need a lot of different pillows to find that sort of pain-free position, okay? Classically, what you would use is maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe even more pillows. Ideally, it's going to be on the back is the best position. Not for everybody, okay, but for most people. And you want to place pillows behind the knees or under the calves like this, okay? So down in this position here. For some people, that won't work. They have to sleep on their side. Now, if you have sciatica nerve pain, say my sciatica nerve pain is in my right leg, okay? It is generally better for most people to sleep on their left side, okay? With a pillow between the knees, okay? So I'll have these 2 pillows here on my knee and between my knees, and I'll be sleeping obviously with a pillow here like this, okay? So sciatica is on my right side, I sleep on my left, okay? This is generally because if the pain is on my right side, it usually means the disc is posterior herniated slightly to the right side. So when I lie on my right, it opens the disc and makes the disc push into the nerve more. When I lie on my left side, okay, it opens the left side, closes the right side, and hopefully takes the pressure off that nerve, okay? So this can also work on the side position here, 1, 2, 3 pillows. If you've got stenosis, most people like to bring the knees up into this position here, okay? If you have neutral spine, no problems with the other spine apart from herniation, then you may be better down in this position, okay? There's just a few different sleeping positions that you can try, left, right, back. For some people, even front is the best position. But as I said, I've got a separate video which is going to pop at the end of this one, which goes over the sleeping positions in more depth. All right, guys, so listen, we'll just recap there. My 5 top tips for people who've just been diagnosed with a lumbar bulging herniated disc. We've got, number 1, avoiding flexion before noon, okay? Number 2, get walking. Motion is lotion, right? Number 3, to get intermittent rests. Super important to get through your day. Number 4, of course, decompression, all right? The video is going to pop up very soon, you can check that out. And number 5 is getting good quality sleep. Okay, folks, listen, I hope this has been useful for you guys today. If you've enjoyed the content, please subscribe for more great content to get you back on the road to pain-free recovery. Don't, of course, forget to like and share, and I'll see you all next time. Have a great day.